Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're diving deep into a really interesting topic that I know many of you have questions about. Why you shouldn't eat certain foods on an empty stomach. Now, I know it sounds kind of weird, right? Don't eat when you're hungry? That's exactly when you're supposed to eat, isn't it? But here's the thing. What we're talking about isn't about not eating at all. It's about being mindful of what you eat when your stomach is totally empty, because the wrong foods can seriously mess with your digestion and overall health. So grab a snack and let's get into it. Let's start with one of the most common culprits, acidic foods. Picture this. You wake up after a solid 8 hours of sleep. You haven't had anything to eat in over 10 hours. And what's the first thing you reach for? If you're like most people, it's probably a cup of coffee or a glass of orange juice. Sound familiar? But here's why that might be a bad idea. When your stomach is empty, your body is already producing gastric acid, which is a key component of digestion. Now, gastric acid is totally normal and, in fact, necessary to break down food. But when your stomach is empty, there's nothing in there to buffer that acid. And when you throw something highly acidic on top of that, like coffee, citrus fruits, or tomato juice, it's like adding fuel to the fire. Ever felt that burning sensation rising from your stomach to your chest? That's acid reflux, and it's super common when you eat or drink acidic things on an empty stomach. What's more, you know that bloated, uncomfortable feeling that makes you feel like your stomach's in knots. Yeah, acidic foods can trigger that, too. If you're consistently starting your day with high-acid foods or beverages, you're at risk of developing gastritis, which is inflammation of the stomach lining. This can cause serious pain and may require medication to heal over time. A lot of people who have acid reflux swear that their symptoms get worse when they drink coffee on an empty stomach. And it's not just the acid in the coffee, it's also the caffeine. Caffeine stimulates the production of more stomach acid, which can exacerbate reflux. So, what can you do if you love your morning coffee and can't imagine giving it up? I hear you. Here's a quick tip. Drink a glass of water before you have your coffee, or better yet, pair it with a light breakfast like a piece of whole grain toast or a banana. It doesn't have to be a full meal, just something that can help buffer the acid and protect your stomach lining. Next up, let's talk about spicy foods. Now, if you're a fan of hot and spicy dishes, this is one you really need to pay attention to. So, imagine you've skipped a meal, maybe you've been fasting, or you're just ravenous after a busy day. You sit down for dinner and dive straight into something like a spicy curry, hot wings, or chili. It's delicious, but the next thing you know, you're feeling nauseous, crampy, or maybe even worse, like your stomach's burning from the inside out. Spicy foods contain a compound called capsaicin, which is what gives chili peppers their heat. Capsaicin can be amazing for boosting metabolism, and a lot of people eat it for its health benefits. But here's the catch. When you eat spicy foods on an empty stomach, capsaicin can directly irritate the lining of your stomach, especially if there's nothing else in there to act as a buffer. Without other food to absorb or dilute the heat, the spice can be too intense for your digestive tract to handle. Here's what can happen. Your stomach might start to cramp up because it's trying to protect itself from the irritation. That burning feeling in your chest? Yep, spicy food can cause it to come rushing up your esophagus. If your body is really unhappy with what you've eaten, you might feel queasy and even dizzy. Ever gone out for a spicy meal after a long day without eating, and halfway through you're like, why do I feel so sick all of a sudden? That's probably because your stomach wasn't ready for that level of heat. It's like throwing a chili pepper into a pot with no water. It's going to burn a lot faster. So, what's the solution? If you love your spice, and trust me, I do too, just don't start with it. Have something light and neutral first, like rice, bread, or a small salad. This gives your stomach a chance to warm up before you introduce the heat. If you find this video helpful and informative, please support the Healthy Pantry channel by leaving your comment below, liking this video, and subscribing for more daily health and nutrition tips. Let's move on to another common mistake. Going straight for a heavy, greasy meal when you're starving. We've all been there, right? You skip breakfast, work through lunch, and by the time dinner rolls around, you're starving. What do? You head straight for the heaviest, most filling meal you can think of. Maybe it's a cheeseburger, pizza, or a big plate of lasagna. But here's the thing. When your stomach is completely empty, it's not in the best shape to handle a super rich, greasy meal. When you haven't eaten in hours, your digestive system slows down a bit. It's like your body's in a resting state, conserving energy, and when you suddenly throw a massive, fatty meal into the mix, your digestive system has to go into overdrive to break it all down. What can happen? Your stomach struggles to digest all that fat at once, and this can cause bloating and discomfort. What's more, fatty foods take a long time to break down, so you might end up feeling sluggish or overly full for hours after eating. If you overwhelm your system with too much rich food on an empty stomach, it can make you feel sick or even lead to vomiting in extreme cases. You've probably experienced that post-holiday meal slump, where you've gone hours without eating, then loaded up on rich, fatty foods, only to feel like you need to lie down and take a nap afterward. That's your digestive system waving a white flag. It just can't handle that volume all at once. If you know you're going to be eating a rich meal, try starting with something lighter first. Have a salad, soup, or a piece of fruit to help get your digestion going before diving into the heavier stuff. You'll thank yourself later. But wait, there is more. Here's one that a lot of people overlook: taking medications on an empty stomach. Now, this depends on the specific medication, but let's focus on NSAIDs like ibuprofen, aspirin, or naproxen. These are super common over-the-counter pain relievers, and while they're really effective, they can also cause some serious stomach issues if you take them without food. Why? These medications work by blocking certain enzymes that produce pain and inflammation, but those same enzymes also protect the stomach lining. When you take them on an empty stomach, you can actually damage that lining, leading to pain or burning in the stomach is common, especially if you take NSAIDs frequently on an empty stomach. Without food to buffer the medication, it can make you feel nauseous or even cause you to throw up. Long-term use of NSAIDs without food can lead to ulcers, which are painful sores in the stomach lining that can be really dangerous if not treated. Ever take a painkiller for a headache or cramps on an empty stomach and suddenly feel even worse? That's your stomach reacting to the irritation caused by the medication. Pro tip: always read the label. If it says "take with food," make sure you have at least a small snack before popping that pill. Even something as simple as a cracker or a slice of toast can make all the difference. Alright, now that we've talked about what not to eat on an empty stomach, let's get into what you should be eating. Whether it's first thing in the morning, after a workout, or when you've gone too long between meals, these foods are easy on your gut and perfect for fueling your body. Bananas are a go-to when your stomach is empty. They're rich in fiber and potassium, which helps restore electrolyte balance and promote digestion. Oats form a protective coating around the stomach lining, which can help absorb excess acid and keep you feeling full longer. Plus, they provide slow-releasing energy to keep you going throughout the day. Light, packed with protein, and easy to digest, eggs are a great choice when you need something substantial but not too heavy. Greek yogurt is rich in probiotics, which promote a healthy gut and digestion. Just be mindful of added sugars. Go for the plain, unsweetened variety if you can. Papaya contains an enzyme called papain, which aids in digestion and helps prevent bloating. Perfect for an empty stomach. So, the next time you hear the phrase, "don't eat on an empty stomach," remember, it's not about never eating when you're hungry. It's about making smart choices that will protect your digestive system and give you the energy you need without causing discomfort. If you found this helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe. Let me know in the comments what your go-to meal or snack is when you're starving but don't want to upset your stomach. I love hearing your tips too. Thank you for joining us here at the Healthy Pantry. We hope you found the information valuable and inspiring. Remember, your health is a journey, and we are here to guide you every step of the way. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video.